Bismillah, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Today I'll be solving the first question of the test. The question is 5x negative half minus x, يعني the half when it becomes on the exponent it يعني represent a square root. We know that from previous lessons. And the negative يعني when it's on the denominator يعني and we bring it up to the numerator, it will switch signs. So therefore يعني it's a negative half. If you were wondering, then the question has given us we were given two variables, the x and the y. The x equals 1, we know that, and the y equals 4, we know that. Therefore, we wouldn't be required to find the y, because it's given. So now, because we're solving for the tangent, for the normal, so the first step here is to find the derivative of this equation. The derivative of this equation would be, now I'll solve for it, negative half x. Keep in mind that the negative half would be multiplied by 5 and subtracted also by 1. Yani the exponent would be, after we find the derivative, the exponent would be negative 3 over 2, okay? And the 5 would be 5 over 2 because we multiplied negative half by 5. And the half would be multiplied by negative 1. We see the negative sign. And then it would be negative half because that's the procedure. We subtract the exponent by 1, and before that we multiply the exponent by the number. So fx, so now it's negative 5 over 2. Keep that in mind, over 2. And because it has a negative sign here, it would be, we said we would subtract this by 1, yeah. When you find the equation, let's see the exponent of x, the first variable, is negative half, as we stated. Negative half minus 1, it would be equal to negative 3 over 2. The exponent of negative x is half. Half minus 1 would equal negative half. So if it has a negative exponent, we would have to switch its place. If it's up, if it's in the numerator, we have to get down to the denominator, and if it's the denominator, we would have to get it up to the numerator, and then switch the signs of the exponent, because now it's in the correct form, you could say 3 over 2 وبعدين شنو كان 2 بعدين x 3 over 2. Here you don't see negative 3 over 2 exponent, but if it was in the numerator, you would see it because it's not in the right order. Minus, here you'll see something, half. I told you, we would multiply the exponent by the previous the number in front, which is you can say negative 1, and then the x because it has a negative exponent, we would have to bring it down because it was in the numerator at the beginning. So it's now in the denominator, and it will be x. It means the square. It means the square root of x. So we now found the derivative. So now we could find the slope of the tangent or MT. Both of this, both of them are correct, whichever you want to call it. Negative 5 over 2. Now we substitute the x by 1 because we know that x is equal to 1. So we substitute 1, 3 over 2 minus half 1 to the square root, you could say. Now we insert that into a calculator. When you insert that into calculator, minus half it would become -3. So now we know that MT equals to -3. Now we know the y is equal to 4 and MT equals to -3. The only thing remaining to find the equation of the tangent is the b. How would we find the b? We would put 4 instead of the y because y equals to 4. We would substitute 4 in place of y, and mt times x is equal to 1 plus b. Okay. Now it would be 4 equals to -3. We want to switch. We want to outside the b, so it would be plus 3 plus 3. The 3 would cancel out, and we will add 3 to the 4. 4 plus 3 is equal to 7. So the equation of the tangent would be tangent equals to y tangent is y equals 3x plus 7. Now we know MT. We know the equation of tangent. We know everything. Finding the normal is a bit simpler because we know everything instead except of the mn the slope of the normal is the reciprocal of the slope of the tangent with an opposite side. So the MT was, if the MT was -3, the MN equals to 1/3. Here we have a negative sign. The MN would have the opposite sign, and we will flip the number. We will take the reciprocal of it, and then we know the y is equal to 4 as previously stated. Now for the normal, we know two things: the MN and the y. The only thing remaining is the b. So what would I do? Do as the previous, the way we solved it for the tangent. 4 is equal to 1/3 times 1 plus b. We stated as previously that we want to isolate the b, so I would subtract -1/3 from both sides. -1/3, so the b would be isolated, and then 4 minus 1/3. 4 when it becomes 4/3, you would multiply the 4 by 3 also, so it would be 12/3. 12/3, we would have common denominator, by doing that, you would need to multiply the denominator that you are trying to find. Let me explain again. It was 4. 4 minus 1 over 3. The denominator of 4 is 1. So you will need to multiply. You will need a common denominator. So it's subtract. So I multiply 3 times 4 and 3 times 1. So it will be 3 and 12. B equals to 11 over 3. Normal is y. The equation of normal is y 1 over 3x plus 11 over 3. Thank you for listening.